Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
Are you feeling sore? We can make that better. Tune in to the Ateneo Senior High School's first radio program, SOAR, the Seniors On Air Radio. Don't change that channel yet, because SOAR is ready to put the you in you. SOAR, Seniors On Air, here on Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan.
It's time for the music class. Join us for an evening of learning music and appreciating the art behind every hum, tune, and beat. Listen to engaging performances and insights from some of the top and upcoming musicians in the scene today. Tune in every Tuesday evening here on The Music Class. Let the music class begin.
Isang mapagpalang gabi sa inyong lahat. Welcome to the Music Class, your music education program on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen, watch, and learn from our guests every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. This is your maestro on air and online, Prof. Batanes. Jonathan Arevalo, bringing an exciting new way to learn and appreciate music. Our opening episode last September 12, 2023 featured master violinist Adrian Nicholas Ong, who is now currently pursuing his artist diploma at the Royal Conservatory in Toronto, Canada. This evening, we start the first part of the program with two of Ateneo's college teachers who enjoy performing as their hobby. Talagang bare months na. Si Jolly Old St. Nicholas ay maagang nasa studio ng The Music Class. Can you imagine from Nico Ong, that's Adrian's nickname, the violinist, to Nico Vitug, the pianist, church organist, and conductor, songwriter, singer, PhD in music candidate, but most importantly, your English and Lit lecturer on campus. And then we have your leadership and strategy lecturer from the John Gokongwei School of Management, Selena Marie So, who owns a skin dermatology clinic and has consistently continued her hobby in playing the piano. But wait, after this first part, we have someone who is not only legendary, but our country's national treasure. Songwriting might be her hobby in high school, but she was destined for greatness. And she is the only Filipino laureate of the Tchaikovsky International Competition in Moscow. Before we get excited sending our questions to this prestigious guest, we start with our community talent. Mga Katipuneros at mga music lovers, presenting live here on our studio, playing Buen Camino's Harana on the keyboard, Selena Marie So. Bravo, bravo. Grabe. Iba talaga ang magaling sa business kahit gawin ang music on the side. Still practicing the piano at home. And alam nyo, we just heard Selena playing Buen Camino's Harana live here on the studio of Radio Katipunan and streaming live on your Facebook page and YouTube channel. Well, Selena, please turn your mic on. It has been 5 years since you first performed for the music class. You were still a student back then. You were actually part of our second episode, April 27, 2018. Am I correct?
Yes, right.
Okay. And now, what exactly are you teaching at the JG SOM?
So I'm teaching leadership and strategy, LAS 50, also known as entrepreneurial mindset.
Okay, entrepreneurial mindset. Okay. Also with us is a good friend of mine who has not been featured on Radio Katipunan, Niccolo Vitug. But before I ask Nico something, let's go back to Selena first. Sorry, Nico. I know that you're playing on an electric keyboard and the weight is different, the pedal. But how does it feel to be performing live again? Since the pandemic, have you performed live?
I've actually performed in PTGP's online recitals, and just recently, a few months ago, I had a piano recital with my fellow fellow of my teacher students.
Oh, okay. Where
So,
was
yes.
this?
So this was in the St. Isabel College.
Oh, Santa Isabel. Okay,
Yes.
Santa Isabel College. Actually, I remember Professor Cecilia Rojas is actually watching. She was a dean at Santa Isabel College of Music, and she's actually watching from the U.S. I think she's in Las Vegas. And we also, before I forget, let me also greet Mr. Mark Gamil from Dubai, who was also a music teacher there, and Father John Capindo from Batanes, a very good friend of mine in Batanes, who is also musically inclined. And Ma'am Katrina Collantes Lim in Cagayan de Oro, and Miss Jovelyn Yu from Cebu. Yes, Mark Gamil is also an Isabellan. And your teacher also, what's the name of your piano teacher?
My teacher is Benjamin Reyes Jr.
Yes, also a graduate of Santa Isabel. I think,
He
or-
graduated from UST. I believe.
UST, okay. But also very close to Santa Isabel.
Yes.
Anyway, si Sir Nico naman. Okay, Sir Nico, miss mo na ba ang mag-recital?
Well, yes, that's right. I did. It's so much fun to prepare for a recital, and it's a lot of work also. But right now, I'm focused on doing research and also teaching literature. So literature and writing as part of the core subjects here in Ateneo. Yeah.
Okay. And alam mo, palagay ko maraming mga comments no, sa ating live streaming. So for audiences who are watching live on Radio Katipunan, go ahead with your comments, and hopefully later on we're going to read it. But anyway, si Sir Nico, as I mentioned a while ago, well, sa buhay musikero ni Sir Nico, no, ako na magbibigay ng segue na bilang church musician, you were in the US, right? As
Yes.
a church musician.
That's right.
And nag-aral din ng piano at tumugtog sa napakaraming events dito sa Irwin Theater, dito sa Ateneo at sa Escalier Hall. At syempre sa mga concert sa Paco Park. Saan ka pa tumugtog? What other venues?
Yung ano, yung in terms of organ, I remember nakatugtog ako sa Oakland, yun sa Cathedral of Christ the Light for a Filipino gathering. So yun. And then, well, when I started playing the piano sa St. Joseph's College, kasi doon ako yung mga recitals noon. Yes.
Well, akala natin on the side lang ang music ni Nico, no? Pero nung tinatapos niya ang MA in Literary and Cultural Studies here at the Ateneo, he was actually also composing, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
from the poems of national artists, Edith Tiempo was also your mentor.
Yes.
And Salvador Bernal.
Who was my teacher?
Yes,
Yes.
and then ginawan pa ni Nico ng kanta yung Principle and Foundation ni San Ignacio Loyola.
Yes, that's right.
And, pero it's your, anong tawag yan? Paraphrase ba? Tawag dun
Oo, paraphrase ko. That's correct.
Oo, sana next time pag meron tayong episode on a different topic, we can also do that. Kasi meron tayong gusto mapakinggan na special song ni Sir Nico. Well, you know, his first solo book of poems, Enter Deeply, was published by the UP Press. But now, here on Radio Katipunan, he is both songwriter and poet. And in today's show, he sings and plays his own composition entitled Ano? Ladies and gentlemen, Nico Vitug.
Ano, kaibigan, ano ang tugon mo sa mga hamon ng buhay? Nagbabalak ka pa ba para sa kinabukasan? Ano, kaibigan, ano? Ano, kaibigan, ano ang tugon mo sa mga hamon ng buhay? Nagbabalak ka pa ba para sa kinabukasan? Ano, kaibigan, ano? Kung wala kang sagot sa mahihirap na tanong, wala kang kailangang sabihin. Manahimik ka muna, pakinggan ang pag-ihip ng hangin. Ano, kaibigan, ano ang tugon mo sa mga hamon ng buhay? Manatili lang saglit, pakinggan ang pag-ihip ng hangin. Kung wala kang sagot sa mahihirap na tanong, wala kang kailangang sabihin. Manahimik ka muna, pakinggan ang pag-ihip ng hangin. Ano, kaibigan, ano ang tugon mo sa mga hamon ng buhay? Manatili lang saglit, pakinggan ang pag-ihip ng hangin. Ano?
Wow, bravo. You are listening to the music class on 87.9 FM, Radio Katipunan. And this is your maestro on air, Prof. Batanes, Jonathan Arevalo Koo. Well, Nico, Selena, you were both also students here in Ateneo. And do you recall, musical activities here on campus? I don't know, performing piano, keyboard?
Yeah.
Selena?
You wanna go ahead? Yeah.
Yes, also.
Were you part of any music organizations here?
Unfortunately, no. But
okay.
I strove to to perfect, I guess, or to strive for perfection in music. And I tried for competitions while I was studying in Ateneo.
Good. Anyway, well, we're running out of time. Actually, there's so much to talk about, and if you have questions for Nico and Selena, you may comment online. We have about I think 76 viewers, almost 80 now. Attorney McCoy Lim watching, and Filipinas Heritage Library, our Dr. John Labelia, Net Avendaño, and then Charisse Gonzalez from Melbourne. Hello, Charisse. I don't know if I know Charisse, a friend of Radyo Katipunan. And then Faye Alora Alvarez from Thailand. Now, Nico,
Yes.
parang parang late bloomer kaya yata sa lahat. Siguro posibleng naging child prodigy ka, no?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, parang sina Mozart at Mendelssohn. Pero talo mo sila kasi sing and play ka. Anyway, our second part of the program will now feature a former child prodigy who was not only superb in playing the piano, she was also an Electone star, Yamaha Electone organ. No? But what we don't know is that she has also touched our hearts with the many songs we hear today. But before we call her live on the music class, let us listen and watch her performance of Ariel Arambulo's Hallelujah Concerto together with the Philippine Suzuki Association Orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rowena Arrieta. Hats off to our piano genius, Miss Winnie Arrieta. Welcome to the music class on Radyo Katipunan, Miss Rowena Arrieta, live from
Hi,
New York.
Jonathan.
Kamusta
Can you
po
hear me?
kayo? Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
And-
you forgot to mention yourself there.
Oh,
You were playing there.
Thank you.
Did you see him? You and Miss Zamora?
Yes, Jet Hamora.
So you didn't mention yourself.
Oh,
That
it's
was for
okay.
two.
Well,
was
you
for two
know.
pianos and three pianists.
I know you have performed so many concertos with the orchestra. In fact, when I was doing my research, you had the Jose Iturbi that was in Spain. Am I correct? You did the
Yes,
rock
Jonathan.
second concerto, and then in Moscow. But our theme for today is all Filipino music and program, so which chose Ariel Arambolo's concerto.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. That was composed for our late teacher, right? For
Mrs.
Mrs. Arambolo,
A.
right? Hence the CGA, right?
Yes.
Carmencita Guanzon Arambolo,
Thank you so
right?
much. Now, Tita Winnie, for the sake of our radio community and eager listeners and enthusiasts, can you tell us, well, this is based on when you were in Moscow, what was the difference when you were performing as a soloist with an orchestra and performing chamber music with instrumentalists or even singers?
Oh, that's a very good question. Because at the Moscow Conservatory, people probably don't know this, but of course we are trained as soloists. But the training for accompanist and as a chamber musician is so intense, very, very intense. I don't know if I mentioned to you, Jonathan, because you're also a singer. We were trained, for example, I had my teacher for chamber music, and I have a separate teacher for accompanist, and of course I had my professor Yevgeny Malinin for solo performance. So with the accompanist, we always have a singer. Okay, so I will not forget this because 5 years I studied there for 6 years, but for the 5 years, every Wednesday we will have test, live test on a stage in accompanying. That's not really prepared accompanying
Wow.
because it's a test on sight reading and transposition. It was really nerve-wracking.
Sight reading, so you just had to read the music on sight.
Yes,
Ganun.
so
Wow.
there are singers, like prepared singers, and they all come from opera.
Wow. Even
And
more
so
difficult.
they will give you, like, you will read them like maybe 5 minutes without practice. Like you stay on one end of the room because it's always on a stage. And on the first year, so you sight read maybe an aria, right, with a singer. Then for the first year, you have to, on the spot, transpose half a step up and half a step down. And then after that, you're going to be able to transpose a third up and a third down on the spot without practice. And then a fourth up, a fourth down, and then fifth up, fifth down. And so it was really very challenging and just nerve-wracking.
How did you
And,
prepare for that? I mean,
Okay, how do you prepare
Oh,
for that?
parang ang hirap nun, ah.
That's a good
Oo nga.
question. Because, okay, so I was second year college when I got, thank God that I was given award at the Tchaikovsky competition as a laureate. And as a student, that was not very common there. Maybe I just did it young. And so after I had the title, I noticed that they would give me really difficult sight reading and transposition. And so I said, why? I asked them why. Because you have a title, more is expected from you. So
my.
do you know how
Wow.
how I prepared for? Because before it was not too difficult. Like you could swing it every Wednesday. So that's why I cannot forget Wednesdays. You know what I did? Oh, I sight read all the possible arias in all the operas
Wow.
so that, it will not come a surprise. Okay, it's a good question. How do you train for sight reading? You just have to sight read every day.
Yeah.
You have to sight read as a constant practice. Sight read, sight read, sight read. Of course there are techniques, but you just have to sight read a lot. I was practicing a lot until I remember my vision would almost go black because of so much practice, because you just don't want to, do bad in an exam. Why? Because it's so public. Everybody can see you. You go on stage and you have your singer. And if you cannot sight read and transpose, that's not good. Everybody will know that.
Mhm.
So,
I don't
yeah.
think there are any other conservatories in the world that would do that. Probably
Oh,
the
I remember because at the end of the course, there would be what you call final government exam.
Mm,
I would hear my classmates saying, "No, I just want to jump out of the window because
mm,
it's so nerve wracking." And so I got the piece. I said, "Oh, I'm just gonna emote this piece so that I won't get nervous, you know." And you just do it.
mhm.
You do it afraid. So whatever you do, even if you're afraid, you just do it.
Well,
Okay.
I
That
have another question. By the way, Nico and Selena might have questions as well. Selena, would you like to ask something?
Hello. Yes, I'm really curious how you studied to transpose those sight reading material. Like, how do you quickly
oh
transpose
yeah,
one half step
because as
higher,
I've
lower?
said, we do have a teacher for accompaniment, and it's different from chamber. So we do have classes wherein we train. We train. Okay, so this one transpose, and then the singer, would sing with us. Um, we are trained by teachers to do it. It's not that we go on stage and have a test. We do have lessons, and anybody can do it. Really, you just have to do it a lot more to
Huh.
get the training.
Nico might
Yeah,
have a
and
question
so
also. Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, so it really seems, ma'am, that you're really geared, you're really trained to excel in the arts, in music in Russia. Could you tell us about how music was received in the where you were in Russia? From videos of, for example, your videos of you or Van Cliburn, people were so enthusiastic about watching. So did that energize you? Was that part of the
oh yeah.
nerve wracking quality? Yeah.
Well, the atmosphere is at least in the conservatory. Um, if you remember, if I would just think like, oh my gosh, this was where Tchaikovsky was, and this was Scriabin, Rachmaninoff, then you'd be in awe. In fact, um, music is top priority, or arts, in the former Soviet Union, and I suppose in Russia these days. And musicians are regarded as very important part of the society in Soviet Union, as painters, dancers, writers, composers. They are what you call the VIPs in the, although, as the Soviet Union is like everybody's equal, but it wasn't really, because the artists were priority, very,
Mm,
very high, high, high regards for them. And so I could feel that because, for example, in a classroom, there would be three instruments, two 9-foot Steinway, and then one piano in the corner, where it's corded off, and it would say, "This was the piano of Tchaikovsky." Oh my gosh,
mm. Yeah.
you know. And then at one point, I just got there, and I was 16 years old. And as a kid, you played so many Kabalevsky pieces.
Mhm.
And then I said, "Oh, that's Kabalevsky in person."
Oh, you
Like,
saw
oh
him
my gosh,
on person. Yeah, he was still alive
Oh
when you
my
I was a
studied
kid.
there.
It's like, oh my gosh. Because he was still alive. I was there 1979. He
Mm,
was still
mm,
alive then. So it's like, what? You would think like, to me, it's like
God.
seeing
Grabe.
Beethoven. Like, Kabalevsky was like almost all kids go through Kabalevsky. Then you see him in the flesh, and of course, like, wow, this is history.
Well, Tita Winnie, since this is a music class and we're actually not just learning about classical music, but we want to learn more about the artists. And I hope you don't mind if I ask you some questions. We know that in 1979, your composition with Louis Ocampo won second at the Metropop Festival, and but this was the famous one. And when you moved to Russia, were you still composing songs, or was that just a high school thing?
No, when I moved to Russia, I had to concentrate on my schooling. And yeah, by the way, when I was like young, it was really journaling your
Uh-huh.
life. It's
Hmm.
not really serious, and we composed one not thinking, okay, we wanna do good and we wanna make this popular. None of that.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. It was like, okay, whatever we feel at that time, it was like a hobby.
Well,
Well,
I was
I know hobbies.
one of the promotions of our show. I did post your one of the songs Hagkan, and then another composition which we would like to play before we continue this interview. First is
Mm.
Paalam, which was used on a movie by Sharon Cuneta, Paalam, and then to be followed by a recent composition of yours, Thank You, Lord. So I would like our listeners and our viewers to watch this excerpt of Paalam and Thank You, Lord.
Ikaw ay lilisan na pag-ibig na
more of these songs. By the way, Thank You, Lord is a recent composition of Miss Winnie Arrieta. And you can go to
You sang
iTunes.
that too.
Yes. Okay.
You sang
Hala.
that.
Binubukin niyo
I
naman
thought
ako.
you were gonna say, if you wanna hear more, I will sing it for you.
Thank you. By the way, Kay Habana is watching. And
Oh, really?
yes,
Oh, hello.
yes. And then,
Hello.
Tita Josie, your sister, Tita Josie, Josefina Arrieta
Oh,
Regalario.
how do you see that?
It's on the comment section
Oh, I
of
see.
Radyo Katipunan.
Okay.
And then Myra Yvonne Bartolome, for a professor at St. Benilde, also PWU. And my Tita Nina and Susan Katama Matayon. We also have Agnes Cecilia de Guzman watching, Dr. Arleta Capule in Isabela, and then Charisse Gonzalez saying, great playing, Rowena. And Alan Creus, also hi, Winnie. And
Hi,
of
friend.
course, Father Nono Alfonso here at the JESCOM. And Sol Bautista saying, wow to your
Hello.
stories in Russia.
Hello, everyone.
Judge Glenda Paziwagan, also in Batanes. Miss Winnie is so humble that she gives importance to music collaboration. Now, I just recently found out that if you search the name Winnie Arrieta, you will find a lot of her popular song compositions. And then if you search Rowena Arrieta, then you can see all of her performances on the classical world. So, may difference, no?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Even yung pagpanalo sa Metro Pop, nakalagay doon, Winnie Arrieta. Then pag Rowena
Kasi
Arrieta.
maybe because at that time I was young.
Okay.
And people were calling me Winnie. So parang
Oo.
nickname, parang childhood nickname. So
Tapos
ngayon,
16 pa
wala
lang
nang
kayo, no?
tumatawag sa aking Winnie kasi matanda na. So Rowena na.
But yung mga songs, yung halimbawa po, no, yung hindi ko na banggit sa inyo to sa message natin, pero paano niya na-compose yung Paalam, yung Hagkan?
Kasi paalam na eh. I was going to Russia.
Okay.
So yung isa, umiyak na. Sige.
Tama.
And tapos, I think, alala ko noon, melody first.
Okay. Melody first.
Oo, melody first. And his melodies are, Louis Ocampo's melodies are very beautiful. Tapos saka ko lalagyan ng lyrics. Kung ano yung nangyayari, paalam na ngayon, nag-iisa ka na. So, it's like parang journaling. But instead of journaling on your journal, you make songs. You make poems. And, marunong naman ako mag-Tagalog. So, up to now.
Para kayong si National Artist Levi Celerio eh. Yung bibigyan mo lang ng melody tapos biglang may lyrics. No? Ang hirap nun Mahirap kaya yun. Yung
right.
melody
Parang mas
first.
mahirap yun. Kasi yung syllabication, you have to pay attention to syllabication. Very important ang syllabication. Kailangan magtutugma. Pero naalala ko, when I was doing those lyrics, I would be doing them mga 2 a.m. Ganyan, doon ako nakakapag-isip. Ayun.
At the age of 16, no? 16, 17.
yes.
Bago ko umalis. Yung paalam na. Bye-bye. I'm going to Moscow.
Pero alam niyo po yung mga collaborations napakadami, no? Katulad ng gusto ko malaman ng lahat kasi hindi lang nasa New York si Ma'am Rowena Arrieta, uuwi siya dito sa Pilipinas eh. At sa September 30, another great collaboration, Ritmo at Romansa with Raul Sunico at the Metropolitan Theater. At ito pa ay may director pa itong show na to sa Met, directed by Monino Duque. Can you tell us more about it?
Oh, this is actually a special concert. Why am I saying that? Because usually our two pianos, at least, because Raul and I have played many times before, and we would be playing the, Western two piano pieces, mga usual. Pero ngayon, we're playing a lot of Filipino compositions. I am really grateful to be part of this project because I discovered hidden gems of Filipino music, not just solo, but also for two pianos. By the way, this concert is a hybrid of solo performances and duets.
Wow.
So may mga solo, may mga duet. I was surprised to find music for two pianos by Filipino composers, which we can consider really hidden gems. And I don't think they were recorded before. I don't know if this would be a premiere in the Philippines. I'm not sure about that. But this is music that was unearthed, and now we would like to share with the public, and to be proud that we do have our own repertoire by Filipino composers for solo piano and two pianos.
Wow.
So even I am surprised by this program. I didn't expect to have this kind of program, and I am really thankful that they have considered me for this project.
So again, no, September 30, this is at the Metropolitan Theater in Manila. What a historic place. Ritmo at Romansa. Now,
Kasi RNR.
ay, oo nga, no? Tama. Nakilala
That's
kayo
right.
sa R&R. Tama.
Medyo inaiba lang.
Balik
Pero
tayo.
walang romansa, ha?
Walang romansa. Oo. Yung music,
Walang
yung
romansa.
music ang romance.
Yes.
Oo.
Romansa lang sa tugtog.
Sa tugtog.
Okay.
Yes, tama.
Yes.
May comment pala dito si Maria Angelica. No? I remember we had a gig with Miss Sharon Cuneta during rehearsal break. And she learned that Tita Winnie is my auntie. She sang the whole song Paalam habang naka-break. I remember she said she really liked that song, sabi. Yung hagkan nga, recent discovery ko rin. Kasi pag once in a while nagsa-search ako sa YouTube at talagang tinitignan ko, ano bang mga bago. Meron pa po kayo, di ba, recent vocal compositions naman ngayon. Like, Thank You Lord, ano ba isa?
Yung isa,
Abba,
yung kinanta
Father.
mo rin.
Apo.
Ano nga ba yun?
Hindi na bali yun.
Yung Abba Father.
Para kay Mrs.
Diba?
Arambulo yun. Actually, nung
Yung
nagkaroon kami ng parang we prayed for
parang-
Mrs. Arambulo's healing. And,
Yeah, yung this time the singer or the performer or the words come from God.
yes.
Come to think of it, love songs are really supposed to be toward God because He's the source of perfect love, right? Not boy, girl, boy, girl. That's not perfect love. That's human love, but towards God, that's perfect love. So we ought to write more love songs with God in it, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. Really inspiring.
That's right.
Before we end tonight's program, would you like would you have any message to our viewers or anybody would like to?
I would like to invite you to our concert on September 30th with Dr. Raul Sunico, and we have new offerings in the form of Filipino music on that day. And we can all be proud as Filipinos that we do have composers who composed real musical gems. Not just Rachmaninoff, not just Tchaikovsky, but we do have composers, and like Juan Hernandez. I'm also playing poem by Carmencita Arambolo, Antonio Regalario, my brother-in-law, Jose Estrella, Julio Nakpil, Diego Perez, and Louis Ocampo, Manoling Francisco, Willie Cruz, George Canseco. So that's gonna be like a Filipino party.
Thank you so much, Winnie, for inspiring today's youth. And I'm sure Ma'am Selena and Sir Nico will be challenged to explore more musical undertakings, not only as a hobby or on the side, but also encourage their students to pursue their passion. Next Tuesday, September 26, 2023, we bring to you Agot Espino, a known professor of piano and also a widely sought-after collaborative artist who is also known as an arranger, composer, and songwriter. Don't forget to watch our previous episodes and share our page. Before we end this evening's program, let us listen and watch to an excerpt of Father Manoling Francisco's Tanging Yaman Medley, arranged for piano solo by Rica Arambolo, performed live at New York's Merkin Concert Hall by our distinguished artist par excellence, Ms. Rowena Winnie Arrieta. Thank you all for tuning in to the music class. Join us again next Tuesday, September 26, from 7 to 8 p.m. for an evening of appreciating and learning more about music. This is your Radyo Katipunan's maestro, Prof. Batanes, Jonathan Arevalo Ku, Diyos Mamahis.
Thank